I'm always writing notes, I'm always pulling like random imagery on my phone, printing them, creating like mood boards in the studio. And I guess a lot of it does come from early memories, things I remember myself. When I was younger, I used to go sit with my grandfather. We used to do a lot of still life drawings. Art was a big passion. He always used to take me to like exhibitions and museums. He was very like entrepreneurial. He was a bit of a like jack of all trades. He opened up a salon called Henry Salon, and he used to always tell me stories all the time. So I think just like I grew up with this idea of like fanatical events. He would always have like, you know, colourful characters, different people from all walks of life. So I think from those stories that he told me when I was younger, it kind of always sat with me. But then I started looking at, I guess, like my own kind of references that link to those. There's always like a gaze which I often repeat in my work. That's often referred to when I was younger, being at knee height, looking at these Greek like mythological statues and only being up to their knee and, you know, seeing the strength and the position of that. This idea of dreaming and this idea of like fairy tale and fantasy. I want things to be literal but not too literal, in the sense where there's an interpretation of some sort, but you very much can get lost and recreate in whichever way you want. I like to come in here in the morning and just kind of work until I get the job done. I think I've been better about giving myself breaks in between the days of coming in. It's important, reflection, and to come back with a fresh pair of eyes. I've learned a lot from doing too much, but I've also learned a lot from stepping away from it. The way I approach my subject, which connects multiple memories together, so sometimes that can feel more abstracted, sometimes that can feel more figurative. It just depends really what that current story is. The colour's always been an important part for me. I've really worked on my palette over the years. Recently started painting my first like large-scale black and white painting, but apart from that, it's always been, you know, hues of reds and yellows, brighter blues coming in. I just enjoy using larger brushes, and I find it more expressive, and it feels a bit like a song and a dance in that respect. It's quite spontaneous decision making, and especially being able to apply these large oil tubes directly onto the canvas, there's a lot more space to play with. So this work is called Colosseum. Something I started really briefly doing a loose sketch. I wanted it to kind of feel like it was floating, but then with the strokes moving in a certain direction, I wanted it to almost feel still, but then also absolutely like nothing is still in the painting. The larger strokes in the background carrying some lighter colours with the chorus green. Nothing is really still about it. This painting is called Hairdo, and it's based off a memory which I have looking at my grandmother, but also a painting I saw in one of Lucian Freud's exhibitions with this woman laid out on the sofa with her large hair mounted on top. As long as there's a feeling that you walk away from, whether you love it, hate it, or as long as you feel something looking at it, I think then I'm happy, and I feel like I've achieved something within the connection between myself and the painting, because there's a lot of like energy and a lot of time and effort and thought that goes into it. So I hope that people, when they view the works, can relate to maybe one or two things in the painting, but I understand it's very opinionated, and that's okay. I kind of do it for myself. Art's it's the only focus point I've ever had, so it's really just like a way of life. It's an everyday thing. I come in here, I'd be lost really without it. I think painting facilitates every kind of mood swing, happiness, sadness, depressed. I think you can always turn to it, which is something I've always found.